Hello and welcome to Parker's Previews powered by The Hammer. This is the show where we're going to talk about advanced analytics, data, statistics, and see how we can use those to dive into some of the more compelling football matchups of the week. On this show, it's my hope that we can talk about these matchups to be better consumers of college football content and also smarter investors when it comes to approaching these games. So 2 games this week I've already broken down on the channel. Make sure you're following that, like, subscribe on YouTube, all that. This will be my 3rd game from the week. I had a 3-0 week last week. Felt pretty good about that. Had some value for some of these games. And we've got a really interesting one here in the Big Ten to finish off this week. Illinois 3-1 goes to Wisconsin 2-2. This game opened at Wisconsin -9. It's been bet down to Wisconsin -7. The over went from 44 to 43. Let me tell you already, before we get into the deep stats and the matchup and everything, I'll tell you that low total and a touchdown dog, I'm all about that. And so one, just a process bet here to bet with Illinois, but I think there's some matchup stuff here that's pretty interesting we'll get into on the sides. I have Illinois as about the 19th best team in terms of opponent adjusted EPA per play margin, Wisconsin down in the 30s. So I do think that if we didn't have preseason priors, we'd be looking at a wrong team favorite situation here. Some of those preseason priors still baked in. I have this about a field goal for Illinois. A field goal for Wisconsin. So I'm going to take Illinois plus 7 points as one of my best bets of the week, one of my official plays. 72% of the money is on Illinois. 72% of the bets are on Illinois. 84% of the money is on Wisconsin. Last 10 games for Wisconsin against the spread: 5-5, 2-3 in their last 5, 1-2 in their last 3. Illinois, on the other hand, 2-1 in their last 3 games, 4-1 in their last 5 games against the spread, 7-3 for the Illini over their last 10 games against the spread. I'm pretty excited about this matchup. I'm pretty excited about Illinois in this spot. And let's break down some of the numbers. Let's talk about why. So looking at this, you can see I have this as about a field goal for Wisconsin. Illinois, raw EPA margin 18th, Wisconsin 25th. So Illinois gets a little bump from schedule. Wisconsin comes down a little bit in terms of schedule efficiency. They've struggled just a little bit this year. Illinois is 70th on offense, which isn't great, but they are really, really balanced. They're 72nd in EPA per rush at 0.035, 72nd in EPA per pass, 0.011. Wisconsin's defense has a absolutely huge split here. 51st against the rush, 3rd against the pass. That unit is 8th overall. But again, we have a pretty big split here between their overall efficiency and their rushing efficiency. So I think Chase Brown and Illinois are going to be able to run the ball a little bit here. Chase Brown's been very involved. He's one of the top 5 most involved players in college football, just meaning the percentage of opportunities and shares he gets from his team. Chase Brown has, in the passing game, he's got seven targets, and so is a little bit productive through the air, and then on the ground he's got 96 attempts, averaging 6.2 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 3.86 yards of contact per attempt, and 30 missed tackles forced, 21 runs of 10 plus yards. I love what Chase Brown can do on the ground. I think that after Wisconsin seeing this high volume Ohio State passing offense last week, they're going to be kind of on their heels seeing this Illinois offense that's going to be a little bit more run heavy. They're 58th in rush rate over expected, so they're a little more balanced in their attack. Illinois does not get quality possessions at a super high rate. They're only 62nd in quality possession rate. Wisconsin does pretty well at denying folks. A lot of that comes from their field position being 24th, but where Wisconsin struggles is giving up those big play touchdowns, right? Explosiveness here. When you have a low quality possession rate, you have a high points per quality possession, points per echo. That leads me to think that you have an explosiveness problem. We've seen that a couple times this season. Wisconsin's gotten burned on a big play. So that only raises the possibility, the potential of what Illinois' offense can do on the ground with Chase Brown. One thing to look at that I think is really important, early downs EPA, Illinois has not been excellent on early downs, but they haven't been insane on third and fourth down. So it's not like their offense is getting a super big artificial boost by being so good on third and fourth downs relative to their early downs. Wisconsin been pretty good at stopping people early, a little bit worse on third and fourth downs. They're 32nd in third and fourth down success rate. So what I see from the Illinois offense against the Wisconsin defense is a balanced Illinois attack between rushing and passing that I think is going to be able to consistently move the ball in a game with few possessions in a low scoring game. I think they're going to do enough to be able to keep within striking distance of Wisconsin. Looking at the quarterback position for Illinois, it's Tommy DeVito, and he's doing better than he's done in his career. 68.8% completion percentage, 7.4 yards per attempt, 9 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, an average depth of target of only 7. They're not asking him to do too much, and they've dropped only 9 of his total passes. Does have 2 interceptions compared to 5 turnover-worthy plays. Maybe that suggests some regression coming up, but he does have an 85.1 pass grade. That's pretty excellent for what you would expect out of a quarterback at Illinois. He's been really, really good. If we flip over to the other side of the ball, we start talking about Wisconsin. We start talking about a quarterback. We get a little bit of disappointment here. Graham Mertz, 67.1% completion, 9.5 yards per attempt, 7 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Only 2 turnover-worthy plays all season, an average depth of target of 9.8, but a 79.3 grade, according to PFF. Mertz last year was just brutal with some turnover luck and turnover issues. And so I think that he is always there to kind of make a big play, always there to kind of provide a low floor for what your offense can do, because he's so turnover prone last year. And I think that's still there. If Illinois gets Wisconsin in any kind of negative game script, I think they could win this outright. Looking at passing and rushing, Wisconsin 115th in EPA per pass. They've really only ran. A lot of that rushing success comes behind Braylon Allen, the young gun back there. 6.8 yards per attempt, 3.93 yards per yards of contact per attempt, but he does have a long of 96 yards, so that definitely is going to inflate that yards after contact total. They're 12th in EPA per rush, averaging over a quarter of a point per play in rushing. They're also 18th in rushing success rate, so they can move the ball pretty well. One thing that worries me about that, though, is that when they get to third downs, they're really bad, 124th. So Wisconsin's pretty decent at avoiding third downs. When they get to third downs, they're 22nd in early downs EPA. When they get to third downs, they're 124th, successful on just 29.4% of their third and fourth downs. So Illinois so far has been 5th in third and fourth down success on defense. This Illinois defense is just absolutely feisty under defensive coordinator Ryan Walters. They're 8th in early downs EPA allowed, 5th in third and fourth down success, and not a huge split. A little bit worse against the rush. 27th in EPA per rush, but 2nd in EPA per pass. So not a huge drop off there. Really good at finishing drives. One thing to note, Illinois' defense has been actually pretty poor field position all season. If they can control that against Wisconsin, I don't think there's any reason they shouldn't be able to cover this 7-point spread. If I look at net points per drive, I've been a little bit underwhelmed with Illinois' finishing ability. They're averaging 2.21 points per drive, but Wisconsin's defense is 82nd, allowing 2.55 points per drive. So I think that Illinois has a balance to take advantage of a Wisconsin team that's a little bit identityless. Their defense is good, but it's not as excellent as it has been historically, and is a little underwhelming. A little underwhelming on defense, and then I think their offense is still just identityless. They're going to rely a lot on Braylon Allen. That's only going to help slow the game down, help kind of encourage Wisconsin, or encourage Illinois to play kind of shot for shot, and they'll be able to keep within that score there. So I like this play a whole lot. Wisconsin's defense has given up, they gave up 52 last week to Ohio State, the first real offense they saw. They played Washington State really close and just kind of got beat straight up there by a pretty good defense. So Illinois' defense being so good, I think that their offense can certainly put up enough production here to keep them within a striking distance as well. So my last official play of the week here with Wisconsin over Illinois. A Big Ten matchup where I think that we're going to have low possessions. We've got a low total. I'm going to take the dog of a touchdown. Some places you can still get a touchdown and a hook. That would just be a dream. But overall, I like Illinois here on the road. Think that if you're going to bet Illinois with the money line, bet Illinois to cover, which is my official play, there's no reason not to sprinkle a little bit of money line here as well to kind of push them across, maybe maximize your earnings, because I think that they'll cover and maybe win this one outright. So really fun matchup to watch. We will see how this one pans out, but I know I'm looking forward to it. Make sure that you are following the show on YouTube, on Twitter at Parker's Previews. Follow me on Twitter at Stats of War. You can get the audio version of these podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to hear that, can't be at the video. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week with 3 more plays. Best of luck. Hope all your bets cash this weekend.